Hey guys, this is Late Night Podcast with Bridget and Holly, and I'm your host, Bridget.
And I'm your host, Holly.
So today's show is just going to be all about us. So some of y'all follow us on social media, and some of you may not, but we're just going to fill you in about who we are, and that way you'll know everything about your host. So, Holly, how's your week been, girl?
It's been good. My work week's over. So I'm starting the weekend early and I'm excited about this podcast.
Me too. So we're going to start out by just telling you a little bit about us, and then we have some, kind of questions we're going to ask each other. So y'all would be filled in. But anyhow, Holly, you start out. Tell me about yourself. I just kind of want to know. I mean, I know it, but I want everybody else to know, like about your family and things like that.
Okay, well, first of all, I live in a very small town. Population is like 2,200.
Hmm.
I am married. I've been with my husband for 13 years, but we've been married for 6. I have a 15-year-old daughter who is going into 10th grade, 2 more years, and then she's off to college, and it's just breaking my heart. I have
Oh.
three fur babies. Gracie, Sadie, and Charlie. And Gracie is a Maltipoo, Sadie
Hmm.
is a Maltese, and Charlie is a black lab, sweet as he can be.
Okay.
Um, I am, as you most know, the manager of a novelty store. I've been there for almost 10 years now. My
Yeah.
husband is a security guard at a college, a
Right.
university. Um, we're pretty much down to earth. Most of my free time I spend is with Bridget coloring and playing Jungle Gin on Pogo. Me half the time kicking her ass. She has her moments, but they're very very little. But I don't know.
It's not
She
nice.
kicked my ass hardcore. Yeah, she kicked my ass hardcore last night. But
I did.
I'm down to earth. I'm happy go lucky. I have I'm the baby. I have an older sister and a brother. He's the middle child, of course. And both my parents have passed away, which a lot of because I've talked about it on my social media. And that's just it. I'm just a southern country girl who is just silly. That's it. So
I feel
let's
you,
let's
girl.
let's hear from you, Miss Bridget.
Well, I'm a little bit older than you.
Not by
Just enough
much.
to
Not by
just
much.
en- just en- just enough to have that the bigger say. You got to listen to your elders.
That's true.
But
I'm her sea biscuit.
yeah, yeah. So anyhow, I'm married. I've been married to my husband. Hang on a minute. Oh, at 23 or 24 years, we've been together 24 or 25 years. It's something like that. You quit counting after so many years. Anyhow, we've been together a long ass time. Between the two of us, we got his, hers, and ours. We got 4 children together. I've got 3 grandchildren. Um, we won't go into the logistics of all that, but anyhow, and I have a fur baby. That's my favorite child. Is my fur baby Ruger, which everybody knows Ruger.
Roo.
Yeah, little Ruru is so cute. And as far as being down to earth, I'm probably the most. I don't know. I'm down to earth, but I'm a tell it like it is person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, somebody said, I don't know if you've ever heard this or not, but somebody said that people that tell it like it is, that's from trauma.
Really?
Yeah, they said that's
I
from
did
trauma.
not know that, but that makes
Yeah,
sense because you held so much in probably when you were traumatized, and now that you're older, you're not going to hold back anymore.
yeah. Holly's always told me that I could write a book with my life story.
Y'all, she really could. Her life is one hell of a lifetime movie. Like I would watch it. You would watch it. Like she really should write a book, and Lifetime needs to pick it up
Yeah,
and do a movie.
I was born into hell, and I'm still going through hell.
Oh God.
But I smile through it all, and you have to learn to do that. You have to learn to do that. So, Holly, like what? So we're here on this podcast. We're trying to start this new venture. But what really got you initially in to social media?
Honestly, like so I've never been like a Facebook fan. I would
Hmm.
dabble in it just a little bit. My big thing was always Instagram. I just loved to post. And this is
Right.
before you could really do like, hardcore videos and stuff. Well, when the pandemic hit, my husband Jason, he was doing TikTok almost a year before I started. And it was
Okay.
so annoying because he would go outside on the porch and he would be doing the same thing over and over and over. And I'm like, you look like an idiot. What are you doing? And it would just annoy me hearing the same thing over and over and over. And so finally, I decided to join it when the pandemic hit because our business closed down. We were out of work for 3 months,
Oh wow.
and we still got paid though. Thank God. You know, he still paid us while we were out, so you know that didn't hurt our pockets, which was a good thing. And I decided to join TikTok.
Right.
And my first video that I posted was actually a Snapchat video that I uploaded.
Oh wow.
And then my next actual TikTok video was me sitting on the porch in a rocking chair singing. It was, I think I might have taken that off now. I don't know. But I got on there. Didn't get many followers. And then I met a good friend of mine who is one of my best friends, Dylan. And they ran a group. And it was the follow for follow. So I went into their live and we just became friends. And I, got to 1,000 followers with them, and then got to 2,000 followers. And finally, I I posted a video that just like blew up, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh
this is
wow.
so much fun,
It's kind
and
of it was addictive.
it was. And what really got me was I had eventually got to like I think it was at 15,000 followers, and Jason was at
Right.
30,000. And
Oh
if
wow.
I was to surpass him, and whoever got to 50,000 followers first, if
Mhm.
he lost, I got to shave and cut his beard off. If I lost, he got to shave one of my eyebrows off. I surpassed him. He didn't gain but not even 1,000 followers. I got up to like 57,000 before the contest was over, so I won. And I just kind of just took off from there with story times from work and pranking the hubby and all that. So it was pretty much the pandemic that brought me in to doing
Okay.
social media hardcore. Well, how
So then I
about you?
have to
What got
ask
you
you,
going? Oh, go ahead.
I'll tell you that. I was going to ask you though, did Jason let you actually shave his beard?
Yes, and if I can find that clip, I will send it to you, and maybe we can incorporate it in one of our videos or something. But yeah, I
Okay.
got that recording. His goatee and everything was really really long. Cut it all off and shaved it. It was amazing.
Wow. Wow. Well, as far as me, it was a similar story as you. It was December of 2019. We had went to Pigeon Forge. Uh, 2019, the pandemic had not hit yet. Remember, it didn't come in until 2020.
That's right.
And yeah, you were kind of, you might have heard a little something about it. I don't even think I remember hearing anything about it. But I remember we were downstairs. We'd rented a cabin. We were downstairs, and I kept hearing the same sound over and over and over and over. And I
And
asked
it's,
my husband, I said, "What is she doing up there?" Because it
yes,
was
it's
just
like
like a
video
little.
record.
At that time, it's like a what 60 seconds. That same sound. I went up there and I opened up the bathroom door, and my daughter was standing on the bathroom counter, 1 foot on the toilet, 1 foot on the counter. She had the camera and it was up over her head, and she was doing a dance.
Oh my
And I
god.
said, "What the hell are you doing?" And she said, "A TikTok." And I said, "TikTok? What the hell's TikTok?" And she said, "It's a new app, Mom." Because again, had you not joined back in that time frame, this was a kids app. Like adults really wasn't on this. You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
called Musically at one
And
time, wasn't it? Before it
yes,
became
originally
TikTok.
it was musically,
And I
and there
wasn't
was some
even
people
on
already
there
on there
then.
popular.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but anyhow, so I listened to her do that all weekend long. It was all weekend long hearing her record videos. And then even when we got home, and I thought, let me see what this is, because I've always been on every app the kids are on, mainly to keep an eye on them, but also
Right.
just interested. I'm young at heart, so I'm interested in what they are. So I finally downloaded it, and she had like 5 or 6 thousand followers. And I started making a couple videos, and I gained a few followers. And I'm like you, I got so excited, like, oh God, I got 10 followers. And she was like, "It's just 10, Mom. I can do a live because I got 1,000." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll get there." And so my goal was to pass her. And by the time I passed her. She had about 17,000 followers, and I passed her.
Oh wow.
And to this day, she still got 17,000 followers. She just kind of give up on it after that.
Oh
She was
my
like, if
God.
that I'm on an app that my mom can pass me, this app is not for me.
Sissy's like, nope, not having it. You can have it, mom. So, Bridget, I
That's
want
what
to
it was.
ask you, like, would you join in social media and stuff? What would you say that your goal is with all of this? Like, TikTok, YouTube, our podcast. Like, what you want your main goal to be from this?
Well, actually, I have a couple. I have a few different goals. My number one thing is, my dad had he was a chronic depressant. He was all the time depressed, and it was because he had a very rough childhood. Went into the army, come out of the army. My mom wasn't faithful to him. He ended up having to raise a daughter at 2 months. He had a hell of a life too.
All
Okay,
right.
and I know what it is to be depressed. I've seen depression. I've been depressed, and so my thing is to my biggest goal is to reach people that don't want to smile and make them laugh. My goal is
Exactly.
to touch somebody's heart today, make them happy. You've got people who are dealing with medical issues, who are shut-ins, who don't want to face the world, who have anxiety, and they'll get on there and they'll watch a screen, and if you can make them laugh, then you've made them forget about their depression for one minute. Now, my bigger
That's
goal,
really true about that with the depression thing, because I always say, like, you never know what somebody has went through in a day, and
Mhm.
you have to think, they're having a bad day for a particular reason. Don't make it
Yeah,
worse. And when you can
yeah,
bring somebody out of a depression by just making them laugh, you've
yeah,
done your job.
yeah. Well, that's what I think too. Now, that's my goal for everyone else. My goal for myself is I would like social media to be my full time employment.
Yes, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Now
Same here.
to say I want to be famous. I want to be known by everybody. And I don't really care about that. But I guess in order to be full time, you have to be kind of famous. Otherwise, you ain't gonna make it.
Well, not we don't necessarily have to be famous, famous, but at least well known.
Yeah.
If we can get our name out there, because that's my goals. I've always been a comedian since I was little. I mean, when I was in the first grade, and your guidance counselor asked what you wanted to be when you grow up, I said a comedian. They immediately called my mom to the school to have a talk with her, and they called her off of her job, and she was pissed. She was like, "You mean to tell me you called me off my job to tell me my daughter wants to be a comedian? Would they make a whole hell of a lot of money than you do?" So I've just always been just the comic person, the class clown. So I'm like you, bringing a smile to somebody's face, turning their day, upside down to a better day. And
Yep.
for personal goals, I'm like you as well. I don't want to be like a millionaire. I would like to be pretty successful, and stuff like that, and just have fun with it. But that would be my main goal, is to, like, quit my work, quit my job, and focus on social media, and just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Now, when my second grade teacher asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I told her barefoot and pregnant.
Oh, God. Barefoot and pregnant.
I'm just fucking with you. I
I was
never
about
said
to
I
say, oh my God. Oh my God. At second
did.
grade, you were what, like 7, 6?
Yeah.
I'm Bridget, and I want to be barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah. That's what I said. No, I'm just
Oh my
kidding.
God.
No, and they called my daddy too. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, did your dad have to get off his job and come up there too?
No, my daddy wouldn't have come. He'd have been like, "Is she dying? Is it an emergency? Because I'm the only person I got to work." So for you, like as a social media influencer, have you ever had anything like, what is your most interesting story about it?
Hmm. My most interesting story. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like I know it's probably gonna sound dull, but I don't think I really have an interesting story. You know what I mean? Like I've not really met anybody like famous. Nothing too drastic has happened. I mean, I'm known when I walk out the door. You know, can't go to your local Piggly Wiggly or your Food Line without somebody saying, "Oh my God, you look so familiar. Are you that?" Yes, I'm that girl. I'm the girl from
Yeah.
TikTok. You know, I mean, I went all the way to Kentucky and they recognized me up there, and it was so weird. But that that's probably just the oddest thing is getting used to wherever you go, you're going to get people staring at you, and it makes you uncomfortable. And I tell myself after 3 years of doing TikTok that I'm kind of used to it by now. But there's that little part that I still have that shyness where I'm like, oh my God, they
Yeah.
recognize me. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
You
You
shy?
know,
Wait, you shy? You?
yes, I'm telling you because had you have known me before I started my job, I was the shyest person. And it shocks people who know me to this day who come into my store. It shocks them where I work at. But
Oh yeah.
the upside of where I work at and social media combined has completely brought me out of my shell. I'm
Right.
more of like, I'm sweet, nice, and cuddly, but I can turn to a bitch in zero point 0.2 seconds if you cross me. You know, like, and I used to let people walk all over me. I don't do that anymore. I speak my mind. I'm blunt and I speak
Yeah.
up. But yeah, I've never really had anything, you know, too crazy go on. Have you? What about you? Like, what has anything happened with you?
I've had several famous people recognize me. Not recognize me in public. Let me retract that. But my first encounter was, you remember Patti Smythe back in the '80s? She sang that Warrior song,
Yes,
shooting
I
down the
am
walls of
glorious.
heartache, bang bang.
Yes,
Well, she featured me in one of her videos singing her song, and she's my friend on she's my mutual on TikTok. So
that's
that
so
was
freaking
interesting.
awesome.
And then my Pit Bulls and Pew Pews video, I had Brittany Aldean, Jason Aldean's wife. She
Yes.
shared my video. That
Now
was
you
pretty
know
cool.
what? I wanna finish this conversation, but when we're done, I want to talk about your pit bulls and pew pew video because out of all your videos, I think that is your most viral one. So I want to talk about that when we're done with this topic.
Well, I'm done. Go ahead. What you want to ask?
Well, so when you did the pit bulls and pew pew video, what came to your mind? Like me and you are both Southern. We are straight up Southern, but I don't know. Your Southern is like you like hardcore Southern. Like I don't know how to describe it. So when you saw Skittles, how did that just even happen? Like you come across TikTok, like what happened to make that video?
Okay, so actually that was a remake. I had already recorded that video one time, and I basically was telling him the same thing: Skittles, you ain't gonna break in our house, blah blah blah. And it got, it probably got 15,000 views or something like that. It did go. I think they consider viral over 10,000, so it did go viral, but it wasn't as big. Well, one day I was laying in bed and I said I could have done that video so much better. And so I began to rehearse it in my head. And what come up with the pew pew? Everybody's like, "Why you call it pew pew?" Well, on certain social medias, you can't say a GUN. You can't say it.
Right.
It'll take it down. So I called it. I know when you would on your iPhone, you go pew pew, and it would do the fireworks or whatever. So that's how I come up with that. But basically the rest of it was pretty organic in terms of that's the way we feel in the South. In the South, if you're willing to come onto our property, break into our shit, the shit that we work hard for, I mean sun up to sundown, yeah, we're gonna put a cap in your ass. That's just bottom line. You know what
That
I'm saying?
that
So
video was well said, well put for that video. But that's your most
I
viral video, right? That's what
oh
I
hell
thought.
yeah. Oh yeah,
That one, and then
I've
the one
had
about the grill.
the grill. Yeah, I'm so shocked on that one.
Well, I never knew
I'm really
that
shocked.
about the grill
You didn't?
until I watched your video. I never knew that.
Yeah. Well, my husband's a little upset about it now because he don't get a new grill when the igniter goes out.
He's like, damn it,
I'm
they
like,
done figured it out.
nah, change the battery.
That's all you got to do,
So, how
honey.
about you? What's your most viral video?
Um, oh God. I think my most one is a little over 7 million, and it was a work video, and it was where this girl come in to my store and had got some tightening cream for her hoo-ha, and she used the entire tube. And you read the directions on the back. That's what they're there for. It
Right,
tells you to use a very, very thin layer. No, she used the
thin,
whole
thin,
bottle.
thin.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
she had a time, and she was swollen, didn't know what to do. I couldn't tell her what to do. I was like, best thing I know to tell you is go to the emergency room or something like that. But even then, they can't do anything because it's got to wear
So,
off.
so what happens? What happens when you use too much of that cream? Do you over tighten?
It locks it down, honey. It's like breaking into Fort Knox. It
Mm,
locks it down. Like it picture picture getting stung in your hoo ha by probably about 20 bumblebees or 10 hornets or something like that. And it locks it down. So it's like it
mm.
kind of swells you. And yeah, that shit is locked down. And she was panicking. I was like, well, you're not going to be hurting. And I get it's going to be uncomfortable, but I mean, there's really nothing I can do for that. Bitch, just let it wear off. Just let it and read
It's
the
people
directions.
like her. It's people like her that make them put the warning labels on stuff.
It really is. It really is because everything we get, 9 out of 10 times, it comes with directions. Read them, y'all. Read your directions no
Like
matter what you get.
I want to know the first person. I want to know the first person that was sitting out there. So, you know what? I want to try to eat this Tide Pod.
Yes.
Who
Who
did that?
does that? And why? You're eating
Oh,
laundry detergent, chemicals. Why?
yeah,
Why? And now every damn pack and container of Tide Pods is locked up with a damn security tag on it, and you got to get them to come unlock it just to wash your damn clothes.
exactly. Okay, so I do want to ask you another question. Like, so you're on social media, you're an influencer, you've now surpassed Jason. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. So you've surpassed him and everything. So what do you think your family as a whole, like Jason, your daughter JoJo, brothers, sisters, anybody that you can think of that's close to you, what did they think about you being on social media? How do they feel?
um. Well, I know they're proud of me, and they're very encouraging, and they love my content. Um. Now, my sister, she likes my Hannah series. That's her favorite, and a lot of people like the
Your what?
stories from work. I had a character for a while that I do off and on called Hannah, and
Never seen her.
yeah, I had to send you a video on it. It was a cute little series. I do it from time to time, but it's used with that Snapchat filter that makes your eyes all big in your mouth and stuff,
Oh,
and changes your voice. But they're all encouraging. Like they love when I prank Jason, and my cooking videos that I've started incorporating in my TikTok. Those are doing really good because I'm Italian, and I grew up with my mama cooking to feed an army. We don't know how to cook small meals here. It's all large meals,
yeah,
but I also got her creativity in this of coming up with your own recipe. And I cook and I bake. So my aunt, her sister, she was the baker and she did cook, but my mom was more of the cook. So I got both of their talents. So I try and incorporate that, into TikTok. But for the most part, everybody's really encouraging and they love watching me. My bosses, they enjoy my TikToks, my vendors that we order from. They're like, "Oh my God, I saw your TikTok. were you putting air on your husband's head and it was hilarious. And I've not gotten
Right.
any negative feedback, any negative comments. But everybody's been really supportive. They'll even say, maybe you should do this on TikTok, or hey, I want you to make this video. But yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's been really supportive. What about with your family and friends?
Well, now my husband, he's proud of me. He's proud of me. And I think I can see when we go out in public and people recognize me, you know what I'm saying? It just tickles him to death. He likes
Yeah.
that. He enjoys that. My daughter, she is supportive, very supportive. Like she's probably, I would say, one of my biggest fans. You know, if I
Oh,
she goes on there and watches all my videos, and if we started the YouTube channel, she's like, I'm following you, Mom. And you know, when I did my podcast with Adam and Lynn, and you know, she went and watched it, you know, she enjoys stuff like that, and she'll tell me all the time she's proud of me. As far as us going places and people recognizing me with her, she likes it to a point, but then there's another point. It's like she's like, "You think you're something, don't you?" And I'm
of
like, "Not,
course
not
we
really,
are.
not really." Yeah, and I'll say not. She'll say not. I'll say not really, and she'll go, like I think for her, it's that whole I passed her on TikTok thing, and so there's a little bit of a, you know, with her. But me and her pick at each other all the time, and I told him years ago when I had like just 100 and some thousand followers, I was like, one of these days we're going to go out in public and people are going to recognize me. And they're like, yeah, right. You know, so
And
now
lo and
that it's
behold,
happening, it's like,
you can't even go on a
yep,
camping trip. I mean, you had to get a new
I
buggy and,
know.
and go under the skies because your tie dye buggy was giving you away.
It was giving me away. But now I think I
Yes.
did go, wait, did I go on this last? No, I think somebody did recognize me on this last trip
Did
too.
they?
So, yeah, but I love it. I do love it. Now, like I said, my anxiety sometimes, if people are approaching me, like I'm the most extrovert introvert you'll ever meet. You like, in other words, there's days I could have 100 people around me and be happy, and there's days I don't want to see
Yeah,
nobody. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
it just
Yeah.
depends on what day you catch me on. Hmm.
Now, with us being influencers, do you see have you had any downside? Do you see a downside to anything? Has anything kind of,
Mm,
bad happen or that's upset you being in social media?
no, not really. You know, like I know I have haters out there. We all do.
We all do.
I've said 100 times. If you have, if like I have 700 some thousand followers, you have 800 some thousand. Those 800 some thousand are not all your friends. There's some of your
No, they
enemies
dare
that are watching you
to
too.
hate on us.
Hmm.
That's
And
true.
so I have some friends and family that that are not big fans of mine, you know, haters. And I think they watch me to more, you know, just be nosy and keep it. So I would say the downside is that
Keep
you're no
tabs.
longer private. Yeah, you're no longer private. You're public. But as far as like, you know, I've seen some people on TikTok that get a lot of backlash, a lot of negativity, a lot of people coming after them. They got these snark
Yes.
pages, and I hadn't had any of that, and I'm thankful for that. Now I'm a little upset I don't have a snark page. You know, I would like to know. I mean, if somebody ever started, I'm the type of person though. I really truly am, and I think it's because all the shit I've been through in my life. I am truly 100%. I don't give a fuck what people
Yeah.
think.
And
So
I would
it's
say going into social media, you really do kind of have to have a thick skin. If you're putting yourself out there, you got to
yeah,
expect you're gonna get some backlash from it.
yeah,
And there's so
you
many
will.
people. I've got so many friends on TikTok who just have gotten beat up in the comments that has run them off of TikTok, has thrown them
Yep,
into a depression. And
yeah.
get on TikTok, do what you want to do to make yourself happy. Do what you
Oh yeah,
enjoy. Like if
yeah,
you're gonna get out there and put that you going on a diet and to social media and you don't follow through with it, they're gonna kill you in the comments. But everybody
yeah,
falls off the wagon. There's people who diet all the time and fall off the wagon. So
yeah,
my best advice for people would be if you're gonna put yourself out there on social media, pick and choose what you want to share with the world, because there's some mean people out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Mm,
exactly, and that's what I say. I tell anybody you can be a social media influencer. You can. You have to have a good personality. You have to, yeah, most definitely have to have some thick skin, because I
yeah,
promise you,
you do.
as you, and I don't think you and I've seen the bulk of it. I think if our following increases, I think our haters will increase too. But you know what? I don't know who come up with that saying, haters make you famous, but if people are hating on you, they're giving you attention, they're liking you, and you're making money off of their comments and their negativity. So
Right.
I'm but I'm gonna tell anybody in social media this. If you're on social media or you're a social media influencer and you're watching this, do not you don't why do you care what other people think? Why do you care?
Yes.
I don't care what some of my closest friends and family think. So why in the fuck am I gonna care what a total stranger on the other side of a computer thinks about me? I really don't. It don't matter.
It doesn't, and my, and I know it's probably a little too rough to say, but my saying is, if you don't feed me, clothe me, and you know, then why do you matter to me? You don't come home with me at the end of the day. You on the
That's
other
right.
side of bumfuck Egypt, and you make a
Right.
bad comment. I don't know you. You ain't a part of my
Yeah.
life.
Well, I've had people come on there, and it was one woman, I can't remember who it was, and she was like, "Listen, I handle all the negativity. I do this, I do that." She said, "But this one person is really getting to me," and I do think, I've read comments before, and I want to clap back, and I think sometimes that's not a good thing to do. It just creates, because you start clapping back to people, and then it creates more people coming out of the
It opens
woodwork.
up a
Because I always
whole
say,
another
where you
can of
gonna have,
worms.
yeah, it does. And so most of the time I just delete it and move on. And I don't think another thing about it. Once I hit that delete button, I don't think another thing about it. But I
It's
will
same
tell you, I
here.
think it's important to delete. Yeah, I think it's important to delete negative comments because, like I said, people follow suit. Because so if they see one person comment negatively and they want to say something negative, they're going to be encouraged to do it. But if they see a lot of
Right.
positive, then they're like, well, I don't want to be the asshole, so I'm just not going to say nothing.
Exactly. Because I'll do that too if
Yeah.
I ever come across any, or whatever. I'll just delete it.
Now I'm gonna ask you too, like, so what social media platforms are you on? What all do you participate on?
Um, so I'm on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Clapper, but nobody really does Clapper, but I'm there. But I'm more active on TikTok. TikTok is my number one app, and then I would say next would be YouTube and Instagram. But TikTok definitely holds the number one key for me. Now,
Okay,
what
so
one for you would you say your TikTok would be most active? Well, no, not for you, would it?
I do TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Clapper. Um, and of course I've got a Snapchat and Lemon8 and Threads.
I did. I forgot about
I'm
Snapchat.
everywhere. I'm everywhere. But yeah, I would say TikTok and Facebook are probably my two most active, where I have the most followers and stuff. But I don't know if you've noticed it or not. Like, which platform do you said TikTok is kind of your go to. Have you noticed that the audience is different on every platform?
It is. It really is. And I thought you were going to say Facebook for you, because you are doing extremely well on Facebook now with followers and views and things like that. Like I was for sure you were going to say Facebook will be your number one.
Well, I think I like TikTok the best. I think I like the way their platform's set up, and
It,
I've come
yeah.
to know more of the people and my followers over there, and I've made more friends. Facebook, I like it, but the audience is hit and miss. Like, in other words, I've got some loyal people that follow me over there, and some follow me on TikTok. So you got some TikTok people that are over there. But I think your audience is really it's different there. They will come at you more on Facebook than they do on TikTok.
Right.
Which again, I don't give a fuck. And the thing I had never been able to understand is how do we only have a few thousand followers on Instagram? I don't get that.
And got hundreds of thousands on TikTok. But I've
I don't
noticed
know.
a lot of people too. We'll do videos and say, hey, y'all come to our YouTube, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, come to my like page on Facebook. And there's so many people out there, like I've seen the comments, oh, I don't do Instagram. Oh, I'm not on Facebook that much. Oh, I don't watch
Yeah.
YouTube. But everybody watches TikTok. Everybody and their granny watches TikTok.
Yeah.
Everybody. So it's
Yeah.
hard to pull that crowd because a lot of people be like, oh, well, you got almost 900,000 followers. Why don't you have that on on YouTube and Instagram? Because not everybody will come to those platforms. You got some people are just set in their ways.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True. But like I said, you got a lot of different ones. The stuff
um
that
so okay, I want to ask you this. Okay, so being on social media, what would be like the one thing you would wish for with dealing with social media? Like if I'm a genie,
well,
I'm gonna make
I
it come true.
just one wish.
Just one
I
wish.
would. I really would like to see our podcast blow up. I enjoy this. I enjoy. My dad said when I was a little girl, he said if you could find a way to make money running your mouth and talking, he said you'd be rich. Well, I found ways to make a little money running my mouth and talking, but I ain't rich yet. I'm still waiting on that
Hey,
boat to come in.
maybe this will be it for us. We can be the Motor Mouth Mabels, is what we'll be. You remember that from the
But
movie Hairspray? Remember Motor Mouth Mabel
no,
from Hairspray? Well,
I've
you
never
probably
seen
had.
the movie Hairspray.
Oh, Bridget, y'all, that alone is gonna be a show that we talk about. We're gonna have a podcast on movies Bridget has not seen and should have way been seen.
I'm telling you, I'm just not. You can ask Holly. I'm not a movie or TV person that much. I got to be in the mood
No,
for
she's
it.
not. And if she does put on TV, is episodes of King of Queens that she's already seen, or Last Man Standing. Just to have a little bit of background noise. But she prefer her serene music when we color, which is pretty good, and it will relax the fuck out of you for real. It
It
will.
does. It does.
I think that
I
this
prefer
is
not to have a TV on at all.
see, and I'm the opposite. I can't stand for it to be complete quiet. I have to have something in the background. I don't know what that stems from or why, but I do not like quiet time. Unless I'm
I think
sleeping.
there's a lot of people like that. Right.
Yeah, I have to have something. And when I put on the TV, 9 out of 10 times, it's a show that I've seen 100 times, and it's just for the background noise.
So now that's what I was going to say. So when you sleep, do you have a TV on when you sleep?
When I'm in my bedroom, no. When I crash out here in the living room, I fall asleep with the TV on. But then there's sometimes I'll wake
Yeah.
up in the middle of the night and I'll turn it off. But I won't go get in my
Yeah, I
bed because
can't
I'm too
have.
lazy.
Yeah, when I go to sleep at night, I can't have any noise like music or TV. I can have white noise like a fan,
Yeah,
and I can't have any light. No light, no noise. It's got to be dark and it's got to be quiet. Besides white noise, now I got to have a fan, or I've got a air purifier that runs, and I love hearing that. But other than that, it's got to be pretty quiet.
yeah. And I used to always sleep with a lamp on. I always had to have a lamp on. But now that I've gotten older, I had to have it
Hmm.
completely dark. And I
Dark,
feel
yeah,
like I get the best sleep when I'm just sleeping in the complete darkness. I
yeah.
would have to
Me
say
too.
that our first podcast show that we are doing is going pretty good. We are
Would you?
40 minutes in, and I hope we are entertaining y'all and y'all are learning some new things about us. We do also take Q&As. We have our email linked in our TikTok bio, but it's also Bridget and Holly at gmail.com. We'll link it under the comments under our podcast video. But yeah, I think this has been an amazing show so far. Okay.
I lost you for a minute. What happened?
It said that you had left or something, but to stay in the recording. So I
I don't
just
know what
kept
happened.
talking about our email. But
So
we're
you
back.
were saying that you can ask this question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Questions
was letting them
today,
know.
and we got an email address, y'all. We got email address.
And I was telling them our email address is bridgetandholly@gmail.com, and it's linked in any of our bios on our social media. And I think what we should do too, after each podcast we post, we'll make sure we put in the comment section under the video, we'll put our email so you'll always see it. Because some people won't go dig for it and they won't remember where they can go get it from. So if we always
Are you
have it.
allowed to do that on YouTube? Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, because you can type it in the comment section. We'll just put bridgetandholly@gmail.com and they'll see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, girl, that's all our questions for today. I hope everybody learned something about us. Next week, let's talk about next week's topic.
Yes,
We
let's
we
let them
didn't
know what
really
we're gonna be
discuss
talking
what that was
about.
going to be. Okay. So next week, let's talk about, what do you want to talk about?
Honestly, you know what I want to talk about? I want to
What?
talk about sex after menopause. That's what I want to talk
Sex
about.
after menopause.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if I went through menopause yet or not. So
Well, I'll ask you off camera a couple of questions, and I'll be able to tell you if you have. Listen to Dr. Holly over here.
well,
But I think that would be
there you go.
a good topic, sex after menopause, because I really want to talk about that topic because I've seen some females, some women lose their marriages over it, because the husband's not understanding and they step outside the marriage. And there's a lot of females who don't know the help that's out there that you can get as well. It's just, I think it's a good, fascinating topic.
Okay, so next week, y'all tune into our podcast. We're going to talk about sex after menopause. Anyhow, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I am your host, Bridget.
And I'm your host, Holly.
And we're out, y'all. Bye.
Bye.